fate of heroes, legends old. In his stories their glories unfold. Baz the Bard with strings of gold. His heart cries out the tales he's told.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Meta Report. It's the Skirmish Week 2 and I've been joined by Scott Mines. How are you doing, Scott?
Yeah, I'm back. For some reason, people liked me last week, so I'm here to talk about Fab again, which is something I will do whenever I'm asked. So I'm doing really well, thank you, Baz. How are you?
Yeah, I will say congratulations, mate. Well deserved.
Oh, thank you.
I know you can't really talk about it that much.
I can't talk about all the exciting stuff in detail, but give it a few weeks and I'll be able to tell everybody. But thank you ahead of time. I appreciate that.
I'm really chuffed for you. You've put in so much hard work. Well deserved. Well done.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Okay. So week 2 results. Oh my God, a lot of events went on this week. There's a heck of a lot to go through. So let's get cracking.
Yeah, let's do it.
Righty, so this is the skirmish results from week 1. So as predicted, Zen was going to be top of the pile, cream of the crop. And like you said, Scott, he probably will LL in one season. He's got 205 points already. It's like, oh my God.
Pretty mental, really, isn't it? I can't say I expected anything but this. You left him with Bonds of Ancestry, which we all know is miserable from Classic Constructed. So I just didn't expect to see anything different. On a more positive note, there have been some very cool success stories this season in and amongst the quarter of the wins being Zen. Things that stand out to me, we kind of talked about Arachne a few times last week. Love to see 8 of those taking down a win.
Absolutely.
Biggest one, though, Shiana Diamond Gemini is a huge favorite of mine. I love playing Shiana casually. If you've never upped the ante to Shakedown, you haven't lived. And she certainly lets you do some real hot nonsense. So to see her winning some Blitz skirmish events, I'm in love with that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to come to a point where there's so many specializations. It's going to be like, now I've got to really make a choice of what one.
Truly,
I
think we're almost there. She can do all kinds of nutty stuff. So visit the Gold Main Estate. Well, you get to play the Shield, so that counts. That's fine. That's a gold for you as well. As I say, up the ante is Shakedown. Her spec is great. You can become the Arc Knight for a Force of Nature. There's all kinds of nonsense you can get up to that she can do that no one else can. Lessons in Lava used to be a favorite of mine in Takano when he was still around, because every card in your deck is a wizard card, so shoot or whatever you like. If you've never lessened in Lava for a Crippling Crush, yeah, definitely a thing you can do as well. So fantastic hero, and really cool to see her seeing some success. And as you say, I expect that to grow over time as more of these ridiculous specializations kind of come to fruition.
Absolutely. So probably LSS will have announced week 2's results, and I would have thought Dash and Briar would have probably gone to the lofty hallows of Living Legends. Only 5 wins needed, and then they hit the 500 mark. So it's sad times for me. I will miss Dash greatly, and I'm sure I won't miss Briar, that's for sure.
I think this is a story of, 2 very Marmite heroes, as you say. I think a lot of people are going to be very solemn one way or the other. Briar's got a huge fan base, and it's the last format she really has a bastion in. She's fine in Living Legend, but obviously not quite the same. And Dash is just a fan favorite hero, and they've not LL'd anywhere so far. And I think seeing them off into the horizon for this stuff the first time will be an emotional moment for a good number of players. So will be lovely to watch.
Okie. So let's crack on with some results. We're going to Sweden first. We're going to cover all the Blitz events and then go on to Living Legend. So Stockholm, Sweden, Dragon's Lair, 24 players. Fantastic turnout for this. Erica Forslov was playing because this is her home turf.
Makes sense.
Well, we all know Guardian is popular in Sweden, and 5 Victor players. We expect no less, but Data. Data Doll.
Yeah, so you're good. Yeah, no, I actually think Data Doll's been very under-respected in Blitz for a decent amount of time, and she only stands to get better with those Armory Deck Dash upgrades that are going to be on the horizon as well.
Oh yeah.
This metagame is really sweet. There's a lot of heroes that are worth talking about here. 2 Enigma, very cool. 2 Data Doll, fantastic. A Bolton, a Levia, Riptide, a Nu. Like, what does Nu do in this format that Arachne doesn't do? I don't know, but something. It's great to see. But yes, I could have told you without being aware the event was happening, that Victor was probably going to be the most played hero this particular event over in Sweden. They do love their Guardians, so not at all shocked to see that.
Should we say how many convert into the top 4?
Let's take a look.
Here we go. None of them. So, Conrad Neither on new. Conrad has won a ProQuest 5. Italo Molina, he got the final last week in Prisfindet, and he played Zen, so a completely different hero this week. He's made it into the top 4. I haven't got any information on Ricard and Erica, RTN 2024, and was the Queen of Swiss for this event and beat Italo Molina in the last round. Okay,
absolutely.
So this is it's really weird to see Erica on something apart from a Guardian. It's just like, oh my god, take a spin with Briar.
Erica's a known Runeblade lover as well. If you've never seen their Marvel Viscerae, they've showcased so much over social media, then you might not be aware, but they are known to send a rune chant or two as well when the time is right. This is a really cool top 4. Just 2 heroes you wouldn't expect here, Nu and Boltwin putting up a showing, which don't really have a following in Blitz. That's great. Italo, as you say, on Zen last week, either got very tired of murdering everyone or bought the Blaze at the end of the event and made the switch. And Erica rocking Runeblade here is also very cool. I find it hard to not root for the established heroes in this spot. It feels like these are both kind of bad matchups for both Boltwin and Nu. So I'm going to assume this is Blaze Briar in the finals, maybe?
Okie dokie. You are correct. Well done. I have tried to pair them up in their with their matchups. I think there's only one where I haven't. Okay, so what's your feelings? Blaze, the new girlie on the block, versus Briar, the one he's about to LL.
I don't want to bet against Erica, but I've had the pleasure of playing this matchup a little bit as Blaze, and I think it's quite good for you. It does depend on how Briar prepares for you. They can, of course, bring shock charmers and other nonsense as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to be on the Blaze side of this fight, so I'm going to take Italo.
There we go. You're off to a winner already, mate. It's
off
awesome.
To a barn burner. We'll take that.
Yeah, indeed. Bing, one. Right, okay. So let's go over to the UK. So this was a midweek. This was Wednesday night. Lion's Heart Bookshop in Woking. 25 players. This is the biggest event that we have this week. It's amazing. Well done, Jack. Jack Mountford, he got top 8 in the UK Nationals, and he runs this shop.
Yeah, prison player, right? Yeah,
I'm
was good. Familiar with Jack. Yeah.
So, fantastic turnout. 14 heroes spread over 25 players. Any standouts you'd be looking at here?
This is very cool. Yeah, again, a lot of what we expected here. Farewell tour for Briar and Dash, and Blaze and Zen kind of rocking the show at the top. Happy to see the Arachne. Happy to see that Aurora exists instead of Ira this week. Otherwise, the ones that surprised me, definitely, again, the Boltwin, the Azalea. These are not things you expect to see turning up in Blitz, and I really hope they manage to put up a fight. But 25 players on a Wednesday, that's some good going.
That's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Okie dokie, how it shakes down. Jacob Clements on Zen. Jacob Clements has got an RTN 2023, got an RTN in 2024, Skirmish 7, ProQuest 4. Jack Mountford, obviously, top 8 in the UK Nationals 2024. Matthew Kenworthy with Arachne, and Kamil Kakazeric with Dromai. How'd you fare these matches?
This is a little bit tougher. I find it hard to ever tell you that an assassin is happy seeing an illusionist, so I feel like I have to side with Dromai here, especially given what we talked about last week, a little bit of the unfamiliarity playing into the hero that people just might have forgotten. And I've also established that I'm a hater in general right now, so I will not be betting against Zen, and I also won't be betting against Jacob Clements. So I'm going to go for a Zen Dromai final here and see how right I am.
Okay. Nearly.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Zen against Arachne. This is, you were talking about it last week. Arachne's come through as the possible counter to Zen.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Jacob versus Matthew.
Yeah, honestly, love to see this. If you're getting through Dromai's on Arachne, you're doing something right, and it does go to show how much that extra go again goes a long way. Something that obviously assassins just don't normally have, and Arachne does off the back of his hero ability. I'm gonna let my bias sway me on this one a little bit. I want Arachne to win this, and also I think if you're not, it's gonna break my heart. So I'm really hoping this was Matthew on Arachne.
It was.
get in. sorry, Jacob, but I love to see Aragni winning some stuff. This hero was very much just kind of forgotten upon release of a new draft format that wasn't Outsiders. So getting its day in the sun makes me very happy.
Matt's always hit the big competitions. He's always there whenever I've turned up at an event. Always got a smile on his face. Matagon is his name on Discord.
Indeed, I've had the pleasure a few times. We bumped into each other at Nationals this year for the first time, and again in Amsterdam. So congrats to Matt on taking this one down and doing it on a very cool hero.
Indeed. More to come from Matt, hopefully. Right, Koki, let's go to Bristol. Yeah, Excelsior. 21 players. I think they've moved into their new venue now. So 21 players here. It's a good spread. 15 heroes spread over 21. Not a massive amount of Zen. It's pretty even across the board. So what struck me was 2 Dories. What's your flavour of Dory? Original or Quicksilver?
We've heard that Quicksilver is the way to go right now if you're looking to play Blitz. I haven't had the pleasure myself. I'm not much of a warrior aficionado. But the idea that dual deck is worth more than the glistening steel blade in it is appealing to me. So I would like Quicksilver to be playable. So happy to see them making a showing here. Maybe a little less Victor than we expected. It's not often down in the one-offs, but he does find himself down here this way. Otherwise, some really cool choices here again. Alexi showing up this time as a deck I really like in Blitz. I think it's just under-respected. We have the other Young Prism, not always the popular choice in comparison to her original self. And then, again, things like Azalea here are just really cool to see. Just very different, very unique.
Okie dokie. So, top 4 time. Connor O'Sullivan is on Prism. What's her tag name? Something of Thrones, Awakener of Thrones,
Advent of
Thrones. That's it. There's so many sort of like names that she's got now. It's like, oh my god,
Prism suffix of your choice. It's an acceptable name.
Sitting on a throne. Steve Andrews, he is on Dory Quicksilver, Kit Valentine on Dash, and Ben Lux on Dromai. None of the players here have entered into my Hall of Heroes for recording their valor, their endeavours. So it's all new. Okie dokie.
All new faces.
Yes.
Love to see that. Similar kind of thought process as before. I can't really bet on a warrior into an illusionist. It's not something you ever really want to see. So I'm probably going to side with Connor on that one. I think Dash into Dromai is probably significantly more interesting. I've not had the pleasure of playing this matchup in Blitz, so I can't really be sure, but I'm hopeful that Dash is slightly favoured there. So let's go with Dash. We'll go Prism Dash here.
Well done, mate. You're absolute on fire. Okie dokie. How'd you like Prism versus Dash?
This is a really interesting matchup, actually. You might think on face value that it's quite one-sided, but I found it to be quite close in the past. This could really go either way. So I'm going to use my want to see Dash have a successful season as a tiebreaker. So we're going to go with Dash.
Dash. You're correct. 4 wins to go until she goes to Living Legend.
She's on her way. Congratulations to you, Kit, and thank you for sending our girl off in style.
I should get you a little bing. Yeah, scores another point. Well done.
Yeah, I need to, our survey says this a little bit, and stick up a board and reveal the results would be...
Thing is, it shows how much homework you do. You don't look at the results, but you kind of like you're doing so much homework that you're pretty much nailing it. Well, you are
just got to understand how these matchups tend to go, and then enjoy the surprises when people are clearly good enough to punk the unfavored matchups.
Yeah, indeed. So. Right, okay. Wayland's Forge in Birmingham. Quite new to the scene, started this year. Rhinar territory and a Terror as well. So nice to see some of the new heroes coming in. We had Aurora earlier, and now Terror here.
Love this. I actually love Terror as a hero. I think the design is very sweet, and I'm still kind of crossing my fingers that Adult 1 shows up pretty quickly, either in the expansion slot or in an armory deck or something, because I think it would be a great fit for Classic Constructed right now. Very excited to see it popping up in Blitz. Beyond that, as you say, nothing too surprising here. There's the Max again that we keep alluding to. Seems to keep showing up the odd event. Happy to see another Quicksilver Dory making a name, and then a lot of what you would expect to see beyond that.
I think this is the biggest event for Rhinars. It's kind of like you normally get 1 or 2, but it normally doesn't max out as the most represented hero. But let's see how the top 4 shakes down. So Javier Melado Teles on Blaze. He qualified for an RTN 2023 when he went to Spain. Goes all the way.
Of course. I remember that.
Goes on holiday, qualify. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Daniel Baxendale on Zen, and Daniel Curry on KO, and Mark Spilsbury brute through and through on Rhinar. I wouldn't expect him to take anybody else. He has dabbled in a bit of Levia, but I would expect Mark to be playing Rhinar whenever I see him.
Lives and breathes it. You love to see it. This is quite the interesting top 4 as well, actually. I think there's so much high roll potential in the Brute Mirror that it really could just break either way, depending on how people break. Obviously, there's a little more gasoline on Rhinar's side for some of those opening turn zeros, but I tend to like KO in the matchup, but it really could go either way. Same can be said about Zen and Blaze here, really. Similar argument. It's a shootout. Whoever pulls the gun first kind of situation a lot of the time.
Yep.
But again, I will not be betting against Zen because that seems like a fool's errand. So we're going to go KO Zen here.
Ooh, nearly. How do you fancy Blaze KO?
Oh, I like Blaze here a lot, truthfully. I think this is one of the matchups that Blaze is very happy to see. So I'm going to have to bet on Blaze.
Okay, cool. There we go. You were correct again. Well done, Javier. Congratulations, fella. Fantastic win. It's just nice to see this new hero. Not many people have managed to get sort of like the hero card. Came out sort of like when we had Expo at UK Games Expo convention. We were very fortunate enough to get her. I think she won that event as well. So she's come out of the gate swinging for sure.
Deck's really good. I think as more people kind of figure that out, you will see more of her popping up. And more importantly, she's really fun. Very, very fun hero to play, and a nice reprieve if you weren't much of an Emperor enjoyer. If you want to be doing arcane things in the format, so
gives people their wizard fix before the next set. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so new shop time. Spellbound Games in London. They've been doing some great things. Always have a stream for their Armory nights, so go check them out on Twitch. They stream this as well, so you can go back and check that. 15 heroes spread over 22 players. Zen is the top dog here. Kasai has popped up, and a Terror again.
Yeah, big ups to Spellbound. Really big fan of what they're doing at the minute, and clearly very passionate people, and I will always support that when I get the chance. This is about the most expected group of Blitz events we've seen so far in representation. Couple standouts, 2 Boltwin. Okay, maybe someone knows something I don't. And 2 Vincent. I actually quite like Vincent in Blitz on occasion, but I'm not used to seeing more than one person agreeing with me. So definitely a little bit more there as well. Beyond that, happy to see the 1 Terror and not so happy to see 3 Zens.
But how many Zens made it through? None. Okay, so the Zens got stopped. So we've got Camel Zeric. He played Dromai in the week, made it into the top 4. But this time he's rocking Dorinthia Quicksilver Prodigy. Pontus Angersfor, who's probably got the coolest Scottish name ever, is on Vincent. Alex Chitu. People should know Alex. UK Nationals Champion 2023. PQ4, made it into the top 8 of Calling Warsaw. Fantastic player. Team Sigil. And Dmitry Filipov on Rhinar.
Yeah, this is a very, very sweet top 4. Very nice to see some underappreciated heroes popping up here. I have no idea what the Vincent Dory matchup looks like, because who has ever played that? But I'm going to guess that Arcane Damage is still your friend in the face of a warrior. So I'm going to say that's probably Vincent favoured. And I'm not betting against the killer that is Alex Chitu. So we're going to assume that he got there on Dash.
Yeah, I know I said Chitu is Kitsu. Even though
I do the same thing.
I'm
so sorry, Alex.
Yeah, sorry, Alex.
I'm so sorry, Alex. I do the same thing all the time.
Right, okay, so the final. Unfortunately, you got them both wrong that time. Things do happen.
I run bad.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool. Lovely to see Quicksilver here, and fair play to Dimitri for slaying a giant on the way in with Rhino.
Indeed. Classic battle time. Who are you going with?
That's so cool. I love the fact we've got a dual deck as a finals in this event. That's sweet. I
should have it the other way round, because Dory's sword is passing past
that's true. We have missed a trick there. I think I'm going to give this a Dimitri on Rhinar.
There we go. Right, you got it. Smashed it. Well done. Well done, Dimitri. Well played. Fantastic win for a fantastic shop. 22 players. Really good. Really good work, guys. Right, okay. Let's go over to Wayland Games in Hockley. So we're going over to the east of the country. a lot of the players who would be playing in London, if it wasn't for the London event, they would have gone to Wayland Games. Sort of like it's not too far to travel for them. So only 10 players at Wayland.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate clash.
There's a few. There's a few this week.
Yeah. What happens when you've only got 4 weeks for the season, right? There's too many events to dodge everybody, I suppose.
Absolutely.
This is a pretty cool 10 players though. Only the one 10, whoever the bad guy is. Best of luck to you, I suppose. But seeing a new here, great. Kasai again, not super respected in this format. Dash Database, another favorite of mine. If you want to play Data Doll but actually have 4 intellect, and then the most played hero being Arachne. Sign me up.
Nice. Right. Okay. But did Arachne make it into the final? Or the top 4, I should say. Daniel Harwood on new. Daniel Harwood has got 2 Skirmish Season 7s under his belt. Richard Hughes has got a Skirmish Season 8 and he's on Arachne. Joel Bluer on Zen. I haven't got anything for him. And Lubos Vanicek should be quite familiar with most people in the UK. He's won a Skirmish Season 6 and he is on Blaze.
Yes, it is. Another very cool top 4. It's nice to see the level of diversity here, given the average feeling about Blitz that we've been seeing. In terms of new Arachne in Blitz, I have no clue. It's not a matchup I'm super familiar with. I'm going to assume that if you're playing new, you're basically doing a Victor impression in this matchup, and I think that makes me want to put it your way, but really not sure. So I'm going to go with Daniel on new there. And again, we kind of alluded to this before on Zen Blaze. It's just very close for both players. I've promised I won't bet against Zen, so I'm not going to. And we'll say that Joel got there on Zen.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Blaze seems to have quite a way at the minute versus Zen. That's twice.
She does. The deck's really good. And it's definitely one of those decks you should be considering if you're looking to take a peg off of Zen. I'm not surprised by either of those results, which is nice. What I will be surprised by is if Arachne doesn't get incinerated in this finals. I'm expecting this to be very Lubos favoured.
A Lubos win. Here we go. It was a Lubos win. Well done, Lubos. Fantastic. Congratulations. Righty. So let's stick with the east of the country. We are going to the far east of the UK. Skywood Fire Games in Lowestoft. About as east as you can go. 10 players. Again, very small turnout. This looks like the same one as the previous one.
Is this the exact same map? I was
punched it, haven't I? Oh my god! Right, hang on. Okay, so with the power of editing, I have corrected my huge cock up.
Wow! This is the first time we've done this.
Okay, so this is
absolutely the first take.
So this is Skyward Fire Games in Lowestoft. 13 players. Completely my fault with that wrong slide. So 2 Briar. She is the most popular hero at this event, but a fantastic turnout of heroes nonetheless. 12 heroes spread across 13 players. No one likes a mirror. Everyone dreads them. Well, I say everyone. Some people absolutely love them, but I'm not a fan.
There are very few mirror matches in the history of card games that I've enjoyed, but every now and then you do get one.
Yeah.
Beyond that, super diverse. We've said this a few times now. This is just great to see people playing the hero they enjoy. That's exactly what you want from a game of Flesh and Blood. This is mostly what I would expect, except for maybe original Dorinthia, which is an interesting pick. Beyond that, these all make some amount of sense to me.
Cool. So, top 4 time, he says. Come on. Lewis Chapman on Levire. Adam Hale on Briar. He's got a Skirmish Season 7 and a Skirmish Season 8 under his belt. And he is my latest patron. Thank you so much, Adam. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Eric Sievers on Zen and Jack Nichols on Vincent.
Interesting. These aren't matchups I'm super familiar with either, which is I'm running out of rope to keep guessing these correctly. But we'll give it our best shot. Levire Briar, I feel like Rosetta Thorn is probably enough to make that matchup one that you don't mind seeing for the most part. Carrie and us can only do so much. So I think I'll take Briar there. Vincent Zen, I actually don't know, but again, betting against Zen is not something I'm in the market for. So we'll say this is Briar Zen in the finals.
Okay. There we go. So 1 out of 2 ain't
50-50.
bad. Indeed. So how do you fancy Lewis Chapman on Levire versus Eric Sievers on Zen?
This is very cool. I don't know. First of all, congratulations to Lewis. Good to see you making a finals with a hero that's definitely a bit unconventional. But I've made my bed. so I'm going to lie in it. Zen doesn't lose. We don't bet against Zen, so I think Eric got there.
There we go. He's won 33 events for a reason last week. And Eric Sievers takes Zen to another one. Well done, Eric. Moving Zen ever closer to living legend. Doff my cap to you. Thank you so much for taking him. And hopefully this season will be his last. But yeah, for all the Zen lovers out there. I'd just like to say congratulations to Adam as well. He got married in the summer. So well done,
huge
mate.
congrats, Adam. Look at you winning events and being a real adult. And with responsibilities and stuff, happy for you. That's great news.
Nice. Okay, let's go up north of the country. ProTech Games in Stockton-on-Tees, a lovely Lee Dalton, 12 players. This is another one where locations clash, and we will look at one of the other stores later on. Okay, so to Victor as is the cream of the crop for this one. It's nice to see a Katsu come out to play and a Tekla Vossen and a Valda. Oh my god!
I love me some Valda. One of my favorite, most like underappreciated heroes. I pray they get an adult version someday. But this is definitely the most diverse we've seen so far. There's a lot of very interesting choices in this room.
I think most people, when they would have played against Valda, just go, "Can I have a look at your card?" Because I have no idea what she does.
What do you mean you start on 21?
What's all these seismic surges? Wait, what's all this dominate you keep hitting me?
What does your chess piece do? Why didn't you pitch for that Spinal Crush? Yeah, that's very much how that deck works, and it's kind of glorious.
Righty, okay, top 4 time. Okay, it is a bit of a Guardian fest. Adam Harbinson on Victor.
I'm so sorry, Thomas. Good Lord.
Dan York on Victor, Thomas Davies on Arachne Solitary Confinement, and Tom Barnaby Pass on Valda. Normally you see Tom rocking sort of like Rhinar and Brutes, but yeah, he just likes the big attacks, doesn't he? That does Tom.
Oh, good Lord.
I'll do the
Thomas,
easy one for you. Victor, okay?
Yeah, I think Victor got there on the left. Close. Really tough matchup, actually, but I think Victor's going to edge it out. And I don't think Arachne's beating Volda. I really hope so, but good Lord, that matchup sounds horrible. So I'm going to assume that Volda got there on the right.
Okie dokie, you are correct. Dan York on Victor, he's been playing him for a while. He took him to the last ProQuest, and Tom Barnaby Pass on Valda. Who are you going with? This is a total chuck some heavy bombs at one another.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a real Guardian office. This event belongs in Sweden. This is something really special. I am trying to think if I know anything about how this matchup plays, and I don't think I do. I am therefore going to default to hoping that Tom made a name for themselves here, because I'd love to see Volda winning an event. So let's cross our fingers and hope they managed it.
He did.
Get in. Well done, Tom. That's great.
That was really good. Apparently, he calls Valda his muscle mummy. So, yeah, pulled out all the
okay,
I
take back my praise. But
yeah, well done, Tom. Fantastic win.
I love that.
Well done.
That's great. Well done.
Righty, okay. I think we're on the last Blitz event. Okay, this is basically this clash with Stockton. So there's only 8 players at this one.
I see.
So 2 Arachne, 2 Zen, and a smattering of the others. Okay. So let's just crack on with the top 4. Okay, so Lilith Moon. Oh my God, how cool is that name? She is on Blaze. Craig Johnson on Zen. He's got a Skirmish 6 and 2 Skirmish 7s. Kevin Appleby on Arachne Solitary Confinement, and he won an RTN in 2024. And then we've got Connor Davis also on Zen.
All right, so we're going to let our gut take control a little bit here. I think Arachne is supposed to be the Zen killer, so we're going to go with Arachne on that side. And so far, Zen can't beat a Blaze, so how about I ignore my previous bet that I've made and assume that Lilith managed to do this on Blaze and join Arachne in the finals? Shall we see? Maybe, perhaps?
You went against your rule, mate.
I did. That's why I get for not listening to myself. I will, however, listen to myself here and assume that if Kevin can do it once, then Kevin can do it again.
Yeah, okie dokie. So, Kevin, you're going for, yeah?
I'm going for Kevin.
Righty. Oh, hang on. There we go. Right. Well, hey, there we go. Mate, I think you've got every winner so far.
I think every winner. I think I've 100%ed the Blitz category, which I will take before I get this horribly wrong going into LL.
Well done, Kevin. Fantastic win with Arachne. Okay, that's
Absolutely.
the Blitz all done and dusted. Let's get on to the Living Legend. These are all the winners from last week. Zen has taken the top spot so far. I suppose he hasn't got the banning of the Bonds of Ancestry, so he gets his full package for LL, doesn't he? So
yeah, he also gets stubby hammers, which is a bit good as well, as you may have forgotten from the days of Vi. Turns out buffing Crouching Tigers by +1 for the entire turn, bit good, weirdly enough.
Indeed, but he's only got 16 wins and Chain is there on 10, so he's not having it all his own way. But gone are the days of Starvo, taking sort of like every place. It's such a diverse amount of heroes are actually there. It's actually quite, it is really encouraging actually. So well played.
I think it's pretty common consensus right now, and I don't mean this as a negative necessarily, but the community sentiment seems to be that Living Legend is the most balanced format at this moment in time, and it would seem like a lot of people are having a lot of fun, myself included, when I've had the chance to play it. So if you haven't had a chance and there is a skirmish near you, big recommend if these results didn't sell you enough, because look at how many different heroes have won an event so far. This is very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's get cracking. Let's start with the Irish. 7th Dimension in Belfast, 13 players. The Boogeyman comes out, 2 Chain, and Icelander, Lexi, and Prism and Zen are all accompanying him.
This is about what I would expect from a reasonably sized Living Legend skirmish. Nice to see a Dromai. I know Mara Faris found some success with them in Living Legend recently, and it's kind of caused a bit of a conversation again of what about our old Dragon Illusionist can do. And of course, we saw last week there is many fans of Dromai who have been looking for an excuse to play the deck somewhere. Beyond that, this all tracks. I imagine KO is doing some berserk nonsense, and everybody else is just of an appropriate power level.
Yeah, Paul Goodchild, remember, won on Dromai last week. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So righty, let's get into the top 4. So top 4, Stephen McKeever. Basically, when I first started covering Ireland, Stephen McKeever was basically just winning everything. So I don't actually have his stats apart from he's won a skirmish season 8. Okay, but he's won a heck of a lot more than that. Okay, and he's on Prism. Jamie McCabe, he's won a skirmish season 7. He's on Zen. Cole Boyle was on Icelander and he got an RTN 2024. And Conor McGrath, he's on Lexi Livewire. He's got a skirmish season 8 and an RTN 2024. And he played Lexi last week and made it to the final in Gamers World in Dublin.
Lovely to see. I think I've played the Icelander side of that matchup plenty, and although it is definitely winnable for you, Lexi can be a bit rough, which is exactly how a matchup should be. So I think I will favour Connor in that side of the bracket. OG Prism versus Zen is probably a bit more contentious, depending on who you listen to. I am going to say that Stephen managed to squeak this one, and we get a Prism Lexi final.
Mate, you're back on form again. Well done. How'd you like this one?
This matchup is more interesting. I think the default for Lexi and LL right now is for her to be reasonably aggressive and maybe not so focused on disruption. I think you probably give up enough spaces for Channel Lake Frigid. The card's pretty obscene, but you're probably not like much more than Icequakes and the like to enable that. So I think if you're aggressive and Zen isn't aggressive enough to do the job, you don't really want to block. Heralds are a problem. I'm gonna say this goes to Stephen on Prism.
Okie dokie. It was Connor on Lexi.
I had to miss eventually, didn't I?
Yeah. It was a very ice light Lexi who won this one. So well done, Connor. Fantastic win for you. Let's see how the Ireland map looks like after that. And we have Lexi up the north in Northern Ireland, and then sort of like with Connor that we've just seen, and Gamers World in Dublin as Ian Holland with Zen. Okay, so one more event to go with Ireland. That's in Limerick, which is in sort of like southwest area. Okie dokie.
Lovely.
Okay, right, let's go to Sweden. Mine Stage in Gothenburg, 8 players, quite a small event. Erica did not go to this one because it was like a 7-hour train trip. And fair play, I wouldn't want to do that either.
Nope.
So
I'm all right. Yeah. I think I've done a 7-hour train trip in my life, and I don't intend on starting now. So fair enough.
It's a big old country. They do like to travel, but yeah, it's a heck of a journey, right? But Erica nonetheless managed to get the results because she is an absolute star. Okay, so no duplicates, no mirror matches, and it's kind of like the same. Sort of like the same heroes are rocking it up. New, don't normally see new. Sort of like not many times at least.
No, she's been a bit of a surprise, really. I think people kind of thought if you were bringing her in Living Legend, you were probably having a bit of a joke. But she did win 2 events in week 1, and does have some pretty naturally good matchups into the room. But also has some horribly polarizing ones as well. So definitely a real mixed bag of a hero, but a defendable choice at the very least.
Let's see if she made it into the top 4, which sadly she didn't. Nicholas Hayden on KO. Then we've got that should be Marcus Carlson. I've still spelled his name wrong. Flipping heck. Sorry, dude. On Zen. Stefan Pearson on Icelander. He won an RTN in 2024. And Dennis Froberg on Chain.
So I like the Icelander chain matchup for Icelander. I think it does rely on your limited cards somewhat, and if you don't find them, maybe you do get punked out. But Hypothermia and Warmonger's Diplomacy are both so utterly backbreaking against Chain, alongside Channel Lake Frigid and the like. So I'm gonna go with Icelander on that side of things, assuming that went that way. KO Zen is much more up in the air, and both players are going to just blow the load and see who finishes first. I think on average I've been pretty happy to see KO going off and comboing quickly enough to do the job. So I'm going to say this is KO Icelander.
Cool. Nice. Okay. Nearly right. Okay. Marcus, I've spelled your name right on this slide. There we go. Marcus Carlson on Zen versus Stefan Pearson. You were right about the miserable matchup for Chain. Yeah. Everyone loves Icelander. Right. What do you reckon?
She's my girl, and I think she's one of the reasons to play the deck in the format right now is because of how prominent Zen has been. The matchup's certainly not free or anything. If you throw a Fighting Spirit at the wrong time and activate Traverse, you will die, and that's something I've learned firsthand. But I do think the matchup is good for Icelander, so I would prefer to be on that side of the matchup. So we'll go with Stefan.
Cool, brilliant. There we go. Nice. Back again, mate. You bounce back. Boom. Got it.
I don't make mistakes for long. You know, we'll try and recover.
Let's see how Sweden meta map comes about. So up the top, we've got Blaze and Victor that we saw earlier, and Icelander over there on the west coast with Stefan Pearson taking it down in Gothenburg. Okay, well done, everybody. Let's get it back to the UK. Gaming, Ross Hewitt. Fantastic guy, Gaming. His triple stack toasties are to die for. Oh my God. It's a good job. It's not my local, but flipping heck, he makes some good toasties. Runs good events.
Ross is lovely. Yeah, lovely guy. And when I have the pleasure of actually being able to get to York, I always do make the effort. So happy to see him having a very successful event here. Also happy to see Unazalia in this room, which is certainly an interesting choice.
Well, this is the hunting ground of Jake Warburton, so yeah, he's a bit of an Azalea player.
I didn't expect that in Living Legend, especially when he's also a bit of a Zen player.
But I don't know if that's him, by the way.
No, I guess we'll see. But very cool to see that. Also, just very cool to see 2 new. We kind of alluded to that a minute ago. She's a bit of a curveball choice in this format, and more than one person agreeing. And I don't think that's just off the back of it being the deck they own either. So
it's very strange. Very cool. Sort of like Kano. Don't see much Kano, or we haven't. We've got one here. Took down a Living Legend event in the US. I would have thought we would have seen a bit more Kano, sort of like in Living Legend. That's for sure.
Yeah, I took down the Battle Hardened in Amsterdam as well. Just Kano is very good in Living Legend. Yes, Prism is a problem. There is more Prism in Living Legend than you see in Classic Constructed per se. But we saw it in Amsterdam where Alex Ford just killed them anyway, and just did the Kano thing. And by God, is this deck about to get better as well, moving forward from Rosetta. So if you don't see a lot of Kano around you right now, don't worry, you will.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. Let's see what made it in to the top 4. EH Gaming, Matt Duggan on Zen, ProQuest 3, ProQuest 4, and a Skirmish 9 from last week. Rob Catton, Skirmish Season 6, 2 Skirmish 7s, 2 Skirmish 8s, a ProQuest 4, Battle Hardened Liverpool winner, and top 8 World San Jose. So he's on an OG Prism. Cam Trewella is also on OG Prism. I haven't got anything for Cam. He's a regular at EH Gaming, though, and a very good player. Tom Gordon, Ninja through and through. He is on Zen, and apparently his nickname is Too Rude to go onto Discord, or Too Rude for Discord.
Ooh,
no,
fruity.
sorry, let's get it right. He's banned from Discord. That's his nickname.
Oh, look at that. Look at you set yourself up and everything.
I know when he comes on stream. I've recorded him a couple of times, and they're like, Tom, don't swear.
please don't. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm getting some deja vu here. We saw some of this Team Belittle nonsense last week, and some more Zen and some more Prism again. They're a bit of a known quantity at this point. With this being the same matchup on both sides of the bracket, I think it's very much up in the air depending on what the teammates decided was best for business. But I am going to take Prism on both sides of the bracket and see how we go.
You were correct. Well done. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Rob versus Cam.
Well, in this case, this is a mirror match. I'm going to guess that Prism wins, of course, but I'm also not betting against Rob Catton, so we'll say that Rob took this down.
Okay. He did not.
No, fair play.
Cam did. So hopefully Cam will see more of him. So to beat Rob in a final. Well done, Cam.
Oh, especially in a Prism mirror, that's a heck of a showing. So congratulations to you, Cam, and hopefully not the first not the last we see of you this season. I should hope.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. So into Scotland we go. Highland Games, Dundee, 13 players. This was on the Saturday. We got another Scottish match to come, which was held on the Sunday, so no clashes. Dash IO into an LL game.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bolt win here too. There's definitely some curious choices. I'm hoping that players who either have figured something out that I don't know, which would be great, or just players who want to play Flesh and Blood so badly they don't really care what the format is and they're just turning up with their deck of choice and giving it a run. Either way, I'm a known Dash.io player. I would not like to play into Icelander. That sounds horrible. So I hope that's not what befelled our Dash.io. Beyond that, really cool lineup here. Not shocking to see Chain as a top dog. Deck's just really good.
Indeed. Right, cool. Top four time. Yastin Lim on Chain. He's got a Skirmish Season 7. Declan Patrick's normally on a Ranger, but he's on Prism today. Daniel Sorella is on Briar, and Finley Freya is on Chain as well. How do you fancy these matches?
Weird to see Finley not on Vincent for a change. It's definitely one that I'm used to seeing as well. Okay. This is a bit controversial. There was always a debate as to whether Prism or Chain was actually favoured in that matchup in Classic Constructed. I don't know if we ever actually reached a consensus on that. I personally still like the Chain side of the matchup, but I don't know. Prism players find a way to win with a wet sandwich, so it's just really anyone's game. Beyond that, I think the Briar Chain matchup is very close and very much technical. Requires both players to be very tight. I do think I would take Briar given the choice, so I'm going to say Chain Briar here. Okay.
It only matters in the final, mate.
Okay? It does. I've lost semi-finals. I've even lost the finals at this point. So we kind of alluded to this matchup a minute ago, and I was wrong. So how about I strategically change my mind, and I say that Prism clearly won it again?
Okay. He didn't. Finley. He may have switched to a different rune blade, but he can still play it. So
I'll listen to myself more. I just keep second guessing in the finals. So.
No, don't second guess yourself. So well done, Finley. Fantastic win at Highlander Games. Well done.
No, good to see. Well done, Finley.
Okay, so Sunday was Mox in the hole. 11 players. Okay, so we got a different Dash Inventor Extraordinaire this time. 3 Icelanders, so slightly different. We've gone slightly south in Scotland, but a completely different setup.
Yeah, and arguably very different for this dash. We'll be seeing plenty of her in Living Legend going forward. I imagine it's not long until that's the only place you'll find her.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think she's very happy to see a pile of Icelander rocking up in a room one way or the other. Beyond that, yeah, very cool to see an Azalea here again. Not one you'd expect. Otherwise, a lot of what we're growing to expect. New definitely putting a bit of a name for themselves in this format so far.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, she hasn't made it into any of the top fours as yet. But yes, Tin Lin, he was in a top four. The day before Highlander Games, rocking the same hero with Chain, as well as Finley Freya. Rocking the same hero.
Pesky Rune Blades.
He's on a winning. He's on a win. He's just like, why would I change heroes? Jordi de Jong on Icelander and Marco Casadillo on Zen.
So we've alluded to it a few times. I love the chain matchup as Icelander. It's one that I'm very happy to see. So I will go with Jordi on that one from that assumption. Chain Z is much more of a draw-dependent matchup, for lack of a more technical phrase. I think, I'm going to bet on Finley, given how hot they've been running, clearly. So we'll go Icelander Chain.
Icelander Chain. See, it doesn't matter about if you mess the semi-finals up, okay? Right? So... how do you reckon?
I'm very impressed. Yeah, fair enough to Yas. Tin Lim there. That's not an easy one for you on Chain, and congratulations for managing it. Mm-hmm. We, of course, did just see Zen Chain with Marco doing it before, and the last time that happened, that's the way I stayed. So let's say that Marco managed to finish this up.
He did. Look at that. See, only matters in the final. Well done, mate. Marco Casadillo, fantastic win with Zen. So showing that he can pull out all the stops still when he's got all of his bells and whistles and a bit more to boot with his stubbies. Dice Cup in Nottingham. Fantastic venue to play. Their cafe is amazing. Jonathan runs this, and his son Noah Hicks. Most people in the UK know Noah. Fantastic player.
Oh, we certainly do. Noah has set me on fire numerous times.
Indeed. I don't know if he played in this event, so I wouldn't know what he's playing. That might give it away that he didn't make it into the top four. Okay. So,
spoilers.
Indeed. Two sorts of Prism, whichever Prism floats your boat, and Oldhim makes a bit of a resurgence here.
Yeah, good to see a couple of Oldhams rocking around. Definitely a fan favorite hero, tends to be played by the diehards. But very cool to see it finding more success than Bravo Star of the Show, which, if you go back 6 months, is something I'd have laughed at you for saying. But I do think there's this very cool debate going on as to which of the two Prisms is actually the correct one to pair with Luminaris. I don't think there's a consensus on that yet, so it's very cool to continue to see them both finding some amount of success.
It's weird about Bravo because I think with all the ones that we've shown, sort of like the breakdowns of the heroes, I think there's only two that actually has Bravo Star of the Show in their makeup. He's not really taken, whether or not sort of like I don't know, maybe people sold their cards on him, or just go.
I think there's some amount of people had a nostalgia kick for Starvo from Classic Constructed, but I also think it's the kind of play pattern that gets quite stale quite fast. So I might be making a bit of a broad assumption there, and I'm off base, but I think a good number of people probably picked the deck up to feel the power of Starvo again, and then after you've Yahtzeed people for a few weeks in a row, the novelty wears off pretty fast, in my opinion, and I can see them moving on.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, top four time. James Clark on Zen. He's pretty much a ninja aficionado. Has won RTN 2023. Won that with Katsu. Rob Catton was rocking OG Prism again, just to do his credentials, because why not? Skirmish Season 6, 2 Skirmish Season 7s, 2 Skirmish Season 8, a ProQuest 4, Battle Hardened Liverpool winner, and a top 8 World San Jose. Never gets boring,
and
does
a partridge,
it? Yeah,
and a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah,
and there's other events. When he first started playing UK Nationals in 2021, he won the PTI event.
Certainly did. Goldfoil skull cap for that one. It's been a very cool journey to watch. Rob learned to play Flesh and Blood in the store that I used to work in, so I've had the pleasure of watching that journey from the beginning, and boy howdy is it a journey.
Yeah, he has always got time for people as well, so if you want to have a chat with Rob, just go up to him. Yeah, he is quite quiet, but he's quite chatty. Kane Wilson on Lexi loves a Ranger. Does Kane? I've seen him rocking Rangers quite a lot. And Ollie M on Oldham, which I've never seen him play Oldham before. It's sort of like normally an assassin or warrior player that I've seen him. But Oldham is his flavour for this one.
There you go. Very interesting. I think I'll always take Oldham into Lexi. I think that matchup is usually quite Guardian favoured. Certainly not impossible that Kane managed to squeak it out. I've seen it done before, but we'll take Oldham on that side. And I think Prism has been performing reasonably well into Zen so far in these events that we've kind of discussed. So I'm going to go Prism Oldham on this one.
Prism Oldham. You are correct. Prism Oldham. Very cool. Who do you reckon now? And, Rob versus.
Now this is quite an infamous matchup, from what I understand. Valid debates on both sides as to who is favoured here. I'm going to go with Rob on this one.
Did Rob take it down? I think this is his third or fourth Living Legend event, and he did win it. Well done, Rob. Well done.
If it wasn't super clear there was some amount of sarcasm laced in my voice for that last one. Oldham does not like seeing Prism, and I very much expected Rob to go the distance here.
Righty, that is all the games. So let's see how the meta maps have shaping up. Let's start with Scotland. So we've got Finley up in Dundee, and then Marco Casadillo with Zen down in Edinburgh. Let's head over to more north of England. On the border, we shall see. So up the top, Kevin Appleby, Arachne, and then Valda in ProTech, and then our Dromai Living Legend winner, Paul Goodchild, in Rising Phoenix Games. Midlands, EH Gaming, Cam Truella on Prism that we reported today, and Matt Duggan, who won last week on Zen at Living Realms. So a few more games to go. Fanboy 3.
That should be in Manchester.
Yeah, I just noticed that one. We won't edit that one out.
Nah.
Next week.
Sorry, guys, we've moved your store now. Unlucky.
I've made a couple this week. I've made a couple of doodahs. There's just been a lot to go through.
I should stop mentioning them and let the comments pick them up, because let everyone play spot the difference as we go.
I pretty much sat there sort of like from midday until midnight on Saturday and Sunday, just doing this stuff. So into the Midlands, still more to come. Cosmic Collectibles, our very first Welsh store, so well done to Shy with Victor over there. Rob Catton that we saw earlier with Prism, Mana Screw, Matthew Brown, Wayland's Forge with Javier, with Blaze. So 2 more to go. Mana Leak, so another Birmingham event. That's a really nice store as well. They've got good owners there. And Mystic Games in Whitney. So the Whitney crew, normally they also play at Mana Screw. So good luck to you guys.
Absolutely. Honestly, just a testament to where we are right now. As much as the formats are not in a particularly fantastic place necessarily, the level of diversity in across these maps is just very cool to see, and I'm very happy to see people finding success with whatever they enjoy or think is good.
Yeah, it's not like before. When I first started doing this was very Runeblade up north and then Illusionist down south, and it was that divide. And it was like, wow, okay. Things have definitely changed. Massive improvement throughout for sort of like balancing the game. Over sort of like east of England, Lowestoft, right on the coast of the UK, about as east as you could go. Well done, Eric, for winning with Zen. Down south, Lion's Heart Bookshop that we said, Matagon, Matthew Kenworthy, Arachne won during the week. The biggest event that we've had so far for Skirmish season. The long rest, I didn't get any data for the long rest, but Carl Mullins apparently won that on Dash, so well done, Carl. Wayland Games, Hockley, Lubos Vanacek. He pretty much rules Wayland Games. With
an iron fist.
Yeah. If you see his name come up in an event there and you're like, yeah, okay, Lubos should do it. We've only got one so far. Excelsior Games over on the southwest of England. Kit Valentine with Dash. There is supposed to be one in Plymouth. It's supposed to be Dark Star Games, but apparently they've rescheduled. I'm not sure when that is actually happening, but 1 week left to go. Hopefully we'll have some results from Plymouth next week. Obviously London, we have Samuel Thomas with Briar, and we saw earlier Dmitry Filipov with Reiner. Bad Moon Cafe to come. So that's another good store. Steve, good luck, mate, with the event there. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
the other events you may find this next weekend, if you so wish
So
to
many
partake in the Skirmish season. Mystic Games Whitney, that is a living legend. And then we've got Mana League, Bad Moon, Entoyment Wargaming, and Hobby in Pool. This is the first time I've seen their name come up, so good luck to you. Welcome to the Fab community and running Fab events. Look, I got it right in this time, sort of like Fanboy 3's moved master to Manchester.
With the store back.
Yeah, have a bit of a wobble every now and again. Angle Gaming in Peterborough, and if you're lucky enough to live in Sweden, Bitsboxen is where your event is. I think that's South Coast. So it might be another 7-hour trip for Erica to go to.
Can't wait. Yeah, sounds great.
But she's already been on the blower, and she's already got somebody to get me the results for me. So
thank you, Erica. You are very amazing.
And then finishing up on the Sunday, only one event, the Gathering in Limerick. Okay, so good luck to you guys. Most of them will be travelling from Dublin over into Limerick.
Makes sense.
Okie dokie. One last thing to do, Scott, mate. I can't thank you enough for coming on. I think you've got the best win rate I've ever had from a guest for this episode.
I appreciate that.
amazing.
I think I batted a solid 90% there, if not slightly better. So there's your target. Everybody else who comes on as a guest in the future, it's your job to come and make me look bad.
So for Ireland, Cameron H, and Dashio is my Dashi, JJ. Thank you. Erica from Sweden. Thank you so much, Erica. From the UK, Sir Meow Meow, Rob Catton, Cole, Declan Patrick, Mark Warren, James Adams, Xavier Murphy, Ollie, Bubs, Jack TCG, Stephen Christian, and Exiom. There's supposed to be another as well. Let me just get it, because it would be very remiss of me to not say their name.
Badly dub it in post. It's much funnier that way.
Labagare. He gave me the results for Canterbury, so thank you so much for that.
Appreciate it.
If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Click on that notification, click so you don't miss any more episodes. If you wish to support me further, you can become a patron, like my lovely patrons here: Andrew Rayner, Bowlful, Mike Kerslake, Callum Dorling, Darren Burdock Latter, Ross Hewitt, and my newest one, Adam Hale. Thank you so much. You will receive 10% discount from By the Same Token and Thistle Tavern Flesh and Blood products, and you will get a quarterly gift voucher, which is the value of what you've paid into the Patreon as a gift code for PCG grading. If you wish to partake in some coaching, so you can also get on to the Meta Report, you can get a discount with coaching from Shahmir Samee. All the details are in the links, and he is a member of Team Sigil.
Certainly is. Very good one at that.
Indeed, he is. He's credentials.
Big recommend that.
Your co-casting partner, normally.
Yeah. Big recommend for Shahmir. So if you're looking to get better at Fab, give him a nudge. He'll take care of you.
Indeed. You've only got to look at the results of Team Sigil to see sort of like how good the players they are. All right. Nice. Scott, you know what time it is.
Of course. If you're still watching, thank you very much. Make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below to let me know your favorite of Baz's mistakes from this week. Definitely a good way to drive engagement if I've ever seen one. But otherwise, until next time, I have been Howling Mines. That has been Baz the Bard, and you have been amazing. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.
Cheers, Scott. Bye-bye.